F&B, is it? It's any job, right?
It's any job.
It's any company that's being set up. Someone who understands your vision, or somebody who can make your vision better.
Yeah.
So I think that has been the biggest challenge. I would say yes, we've had our fair share of teething issues, but I think the team now is pretty okay. Like they're pretty well tightly
Pretty tight, yeah.
and they know what we're going for, what we're trying to achieve, and everybody's on the same page right now. So that's good.
That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
So we were talking about these home-based food businesses
Right,
that have gotten really big, post-COVID. And some restaurant owners are saying they've got an unfair advantage because they don't have the overheads to deal with. What's your take on this?
Well, the restaurant owners, you chose to go into a restaurant, so the overheads come with your choice. It's your choice. You decided to do this, and the people that decided to do it at home chose not to. So I think
But
it's not fair.
do the people at home face less regulation than you do?
I don't think so. So I guess if you were to ask me if there should be any regulation, maybe a food and health safety certificate. That should be the
Correct.
minimum, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But some are saying, SFA needs to get involved. I think that changes the whole dynamic, and then that's pointless already. And I think the beauty about being a home-based business myself and then coming out into the brick and mortar, I think I can see both sides and I can see the appeal of both sides. And sometimes you want to sit down in your shorts and your singlet and eat butter chicken. You don't want to dress up and go out to a restaurant, right? So I think they both have their place in Singapore.
Yeah.
And very rightly so. Singapore is a melting pot of cultures. And this home-based business thing is actually not new. It's been happening for years and years and years. Even when you talk about just after the Japanese occupation, Amas used to pack tiffins for people and everything, right? Home-based businesses, if you think about it, really.
Yeah, it's been around.
Because I always thought that you needed, these to comply with food safety regulations when you're cooking from home and selling it. Because it can be quite dodgy, right?
It can, and you're not wrong to suspect that. There was a period during COVID where they had shut down home-based businesses for about 2 weeks.
Correct.
So, and there was an uproar from a lot of people because they couldn't get their fix, basically,
Yeah.
and also the home-based businesses. But I took that time to do the online course to get my food safety health cert. So, in case that was a thing. And that helped me during MasterChef because I didn't have to do it during MasterChef because I was already certified.
Right.
Yeah.
So anyone can sell food out of their kitchen at home, right? As long as you get all the regular...
I feel as long as you do the food health safety,
Right. Okay.
hygiene course, I think
Mm.
you should be able to. I don't think it's anything bad.
Okay, let me ask you something with this. It probably doesn't happen with homes, but we are seeing it with restaurants, and we discussed this yesterday with a journalist from the Straits Times. Outsourcing certain things on your menu.
It's not something I would do personally,
Right.
Because if you come to Meher, everything is there's a story behind every dish.
So even desserts, everything is done in-house.
Everything.
Wow.
Everything.
How,
A to Z.
in your sauces, in your,
Everything, every single
Wow.
How
thing.
big is that kitchen crew?
The kitchen crew, as of right now, is a skeleton 4 men.
Who works very, very hard, by the way.
They do work very hard, and I'm very grateful for them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Chef Inderpal was telling us his day starts at about, 8:30?
Yeah, for me, it's about 8:30. Then the team comes in by about 9:30, 10. And they're there. One person always stays late to close the kitchen.
Which is what time?
11:30, 12.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long day.
Just getting back to the outsourcing. We had this discussion yesterday. To me, outsourcing, as long as it keeps the quality of the restaurant, I don't care.
Yeah.
Is outsourcing cheating when I'm charging that kind of price?
It depends on what you're charging, and it depends on what you're selling it at. If you buy a chocolate lava cake from, say, supplier A, and you have 4 restaurants, and you say, but the description at every different restaurant is different, then, it's a bit cheating, right?
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to check that one.
So would you, it's tough being a restaurant owner here in Singapore, definitely with all the overheads and the challenges involved. Do you think you might fall back to a home-based business?
I don't know. So right now, I'm not thinking about that at all. I'm just trying to, power through to get to where we're safe, and I think we're almost there. thankful to the support of people who have come forward and really tried the food and understood it. So I don't know. Would I go back to a home base? I don't know. I really don't think so.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting. I could, if you had the time, I can see where, as a business, that would be amazing, because you have the person who wants the ambience of a restaurant,
Right.
For entertaining and whatever else.
Right.
But home-based cooking, I have a whole different ambience. It's almost family.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And if you could offer people both,
Yeah.
you could be a pretty good restaurateur.
Yeah, you could, but the reality of it is, once you see, like you said, the key word there being family.
Yeah.
And if you can offer that at a restaurant, kudos to you, which means your staff completely understand your dynamic. Your ambience, that, it's funny that one thing people don't realize is, to create an ambience at home, it's actually expensive, but you don't realize, because you create it over time. You spend a very little bit of money here, a little bit of money there. You go, you travel somewhere, you add something, and then it becomes your home. You're not really looking at it as okay, I've invested this amount of cost. But to create that ambience in a restaurant, okay, hey buddy, this is the ID and this is $30,000, and if you want to create that, then when you create it, is it really what it is? It's not.
Yeah.
It's not really. Because then the person on the floor needs to understand why, this piece of art is here, for example.
Yeah.
Or why this funny-looking statue is here, for example.
Yeah.
They need to be able to translate the stories, top up your water, top up your wine, serve you the food, take your orders, clear the plates and everything, all of that within 1 hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see your point.
Why don't go back on air? Actually, talk about the menu at Meher.
Sure.
I'm very
curious.
We've not been.
Yeah.
I would love to go, and I think many of our listeners are also very intrigued. So tell us about the food you serve at Meher. That's on air in a bit. That sounds a Rick Price here on 1FM 91.3. It's the morning drive, and thanks for joining us, Chef Inderpal Singh. He is the winner of MasterChef Season 4, and he's got a new restaurant. How old is the restaurant now?
The restaurant is turning 6 months this month.
Oh,
That's
lovely.
Little
Still
baby.
a baby.
Very little baby.
Okay, restaurant is called Meher, and tell us about the food on the menu.
Right. So I think because of the way I look, and this is not racist in any way, but it's fine. Everybody assumes it's an Indian restaurant, but it's not. And it's a modern Asian restaurant focusing on street food with everything from Bali to Delhi and everything in between.
Sorry, you just blew my mind, because
Yeah.
I thought it was an Indian restaurant.
Yeah, there you go. And a lot of people do.
Yeah. So it's some of the dishes, your standout dishes,
What are they?
So like one of our standout dishes is the bak wings. So we remove the center bone from the mid wing of a chicken wing.
Yeah.
We stuff it with Hainanese chicken rice.
No!
We glaze it with our fermented soy sauce and chichat manis.
Wow.
And we cook it. We finish it on the grill. And then, because we're very pro sustainability, you're left with that little drumstick. We julienne it nicely, so it's like a little lollipop. And we do it in our house char siu glaze.
Oh,
And we
my.
serve it to you with a banana chili.
Oh.
And after all of that is done, we serve you this beautiful consomme that is just gone through a filtration system with all of the trimmings that we have at the restaurant. And yeah, it's just a wholesome, very calming meal.
What time do you open?
You're open for lunch, noon, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
we're ready
okay,
to
we're
go.
out of here.
Okay, and that dish is called the
Bak wings.
Buck wings.
That's right.
Okay.
So this creativity that you've come up with, the rules and the regulations and the stipulations that the government puts on restaurants,
Right.
has that curtailed the creativity in any way?
I think the creativity actually comes from me and my executive chef. So
Yeah.
I would say no. It is, there are other difficulties that come with it, that if we really want to get into the nitty gritty of things. And I think the main difficulty we face is like we started at the start of the conversation, is with staffing. And I think the quota system is,
Yes.
it's very, very hard.
Is that the one rule you would want to see change?
Oh,
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
It doesn't
to
make
support
sense.
emerging restaurants or people who are thinking
100%.
of setting up their own restaurant.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's because, look, the reality of it is that I'm in that 10% of Singaporeans who wants to do this for a living.
Yep.
Most Singaporeans, and there's nothing wrong with this. It's the way we are, and there's nothing wrong with it. Most of us want to go to office, have a
cushy job,
It's not about being cushy. It's just about that's what we've been trained to do, right?
Yeah.
From the time that we've been in school. Okay, you'll have a comfortable life, right? And chefing is not comfortable.
No, it's not long hours.
Long hours,
You're on your feet all day. It's stresses from everywhere.
I get resumes every week, 4, 5, 6 different resumes every week, but I can't hire them because of the quota system.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So that's something to look into because it's tough, with the turnover and all that. And
exactly.
most Singaporeans don't want to work in a sweaty kitchen, right?
Yeah, it's perfectly fine, I guess. Like I said,
yeah.
we need the Singaporeans in the dining room spending the money.
Okay. One final question before you go. I mean, you've done this,
Right.
and people who want to pursue their own passions, especially in the F&B business,
Right.
what would you tell them?
You would be surprised how many restaurants would give you a go if you actually reach out to them and say, hey, I've never done this before. I'm a banker, but I've always wanted to do this. Do you think I could have a trial? 9 times out of 10, the answer will be yes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes.
They need all hands on deck.
No, it's not specifically that. It's very much because of where we are positioned in the world, Singapore. There's so many people coming through, and we have so much of talent actually. But like I said, because we've been told from very young to, okay, do this and your life will be comfortable, right? So you've done that comfort bit, but now you're comfortable and you want to try something different, right? You can afford to try something different. And I know some friends who have done that. I've known, like when I was working in Burnham's previously, one of the bakers was previously a banker.
Yeah.
And he's now one of the top bakers there.
Yeah.
So
amazing.
So if you really want to go into F&B, you'll be surprised. Reach out to the restaurant. 9 times out of 10, they'll say yes.
All
Wow.
right. So one more time, Chef Inderpal Singh, his restaurant Meher, where is it located?
42 South Bridge Road. We're on level 5. Beautiful view of the Marina Bay Sands.
Nice.
And come join us. Have a wonderful time with us. And we promise not to disappoint.
Thank you so much. Thanks for joining us here today, Chef.
Thank you very much for having me.
The Morning Drive. 1FM. Good times, greatest hits.